So let's talk about other retirement savings options. Now I know there's a bunch of them out there. How does each different one kind of impact the tax planning process?
So it's got a lot to do with whether you're employed like a W-2 employee, if you're self-employed. It has a lot to do with whether or not your employer provides a retirement plan at all. All of these things factor into it. And so let's start with just the basic is you have a traditional retirement plan, which is money going in pre-tax, accumulating tax deferred. So as it grows, you're not being taxed. And if you're over 59 and a half and you start making withdrawals, it will all be taxable, but there'll be no penalties. You do get penalized if you start taking money out of plans earlier than 59 and a half. And so there's a lot of value in that. You're avoiding a tax today by putting it in pre-tax. You're avoiding a tax as it grows, so it accumulates without taxation. And then maybe you're in the same bracket, but maybe you're in a lower bracket, or maybe some of your income that's going to come out of that IRA in the future will be in a lower bracket. So you might have avoided a higher tax today and then get it out later at a lower tax. So that's the advantage of the traditional plan. And we talked about the Roth IRA. That's going to come out tax-free. So the Roth IRA is going to come out, totally tax-free, but you're putting money in after tax. So a lot of times, a younger person who's in their very low taxation time of their life, maybe they want to load up on the Roth IRA because they're not being taxed a whole lot anyway. So put it in after tax. And then as you get into your career where you're starting to be a higher income earner, now maybe you want to avoid this new higher bracket that you've creeped into. So you can avoid that tax today. And worst case scenario, that's the tax you'll pay later when it comes out, but maybe you'll be in a lower bracket. And so you're kind of in that transition where you could do a little bit of both. And at your peak earning years, maybe you want to try to avoid the tax altogether. So those are the kind of traditional ways of thinking about taxation. And if you know where you stand by being organized and looking at this year's tax return, it helps you prepare for this year and the future years and which one of those types of plans to use. Now, there's also employer plans. You can put money in a 401k. You could be a small employer and have a 401k and offer it to your employees. There's something called a simple IRA. That's for small employers. You don't have to go through all the hoops of setting up a 401k. It's just as its name is simple. It's a simplified way of doing that. You can't fully contribute quite as much. You can't do profit sharing and things like that. So there are ways for you depending on what you do. If you're self-employed, you could do a 401k, make your max contribution. You could do a profit sharing and do more on top of that. And next thing you know, you could be getting $50,000 or more into a retirement plan pre-tax. So that's pretty attractive. So those are the tools that you're looking at as far as accumulating. But if I just bare bones it, you've got pre-tax traditional or after-tax Roth, which later on will be totally tax-free. And you're just trying to measure, is it better to avoid a tax today, or is it better to not have any taxes in the future? Thanks for tuning in to the video today. And if the conversation we held resonates with you, check us out at goodfinancial.com. Go to Contact Us, and we're happy to schedule a conversation with you to answer any questions you might have and help you in your financial plan.